Welcome back to CHOWTIME Pods. Your host, Red. I get a video today from Alexander Grace. Looks like a doozy.
Dan, I have a question.
Yeah.
Do you think that I could be on the cover of Vogue?
Like that fashion thing?
Yeah, like the fashion magazine. Could I be on the cover if I really wanted to?
Isn't that for like supermodels?
Yeah.
You're just an average person though.
Damn.
Dan!
What? That's for like
It's
supermodels. They would never pick you.
What do you mean they'd never pick me?
What do you mean? That's like the famous...
So you're saying I'm disgusting and ugly?
No, you're gorgeous. But I'm saying like you're not famous.
Would you be shocked if I got on the cover of Vogue?
Yeah.
Are you telling me right now you could never be on the cover of Vogue?
No, you could, but I would be shocked if you were.
Okay, so you'd be shocked.
She's thinking, I can't believe he failed my test. And I'm thinking, where does the entitlement come from so many women who think that it's okay to test men constantly? Let's be clear.
I mean, the test is ridiculous. You're trying to make us say that you're supermodel status. Sorry, ladies, you're not.
Men don't ask questions like this. Average guys don't turn to their girlfriend and be like, hey, babe, do you think I could play in the NBA? Why would he ask that? He already knows the answer. He's not tall or athletic enough, so asking is pointless. But then why, for women, are these exaggerated, emotionally loaded questions so common? This is a uniquely feminine behavior, and men have no framework to understand what's going on here. For men, if we ask a question, it is a sincere search for information. Why else would you ask? And so when a woman says, do you think I could be on the cover of Vogue magazine, we assume you want real data, a real response. And women already know the answer. You're not telling her something new, but then suddenly you're in an argument and she's annoyed at you. How did that happen? Well, the truth is you've been set up. It was a trap. Just another instance of women testing men, and guys are just exhausted by this. Can we stop playing games? Can you please just grow up? Why can't you just be direct? Well, she can't, because that would undermine her purpose, because she wants to emotionally test you. You know, she wants to ask you this question, but she doesn't really want the answer. She wants to know if you can read between the lines. Are you, my boyfriend, sensitive enough to feel my insecurity, even if I don't say it directly? For some reason, she thinks her...
I mean, tell the truth, some of us know and feel exactly what the answer they want, but we like telling the truth. It's like, why do you want us to lie all the time? Now you call up men liars all the time. It's like, you're the one that forced us to lie.
Her low self-esteem justifies this nonsense, but dress it up however you want. These kind of games are childish. And she's so consumed by her own personal pain, so self-absorbed, that she completely ignores his needs. His need to not be manipulated, to not be tested or set up and trapped. His need for direct, honest communication with precise language, with no games being played. Isn't it fascinating that women will test the emotional intelligence of their boyfriend by engaging in a behavior that is emotionally stupid? I want to see if my boyfriend can connect with me, and the way I can test that is by breaking my connection with him and violating all of his boundaries. And what's most frightening is that in the minds of so many women, this makes sense. But here's something that you've probably never been told before, which is that not all of women's insecurity is as innocent as they present it to be. You know, if you ever ask for some accountability from a woman and she says like, I just feel bad about myself, you know, I'm just so insecure, you know, it pulls at your heartstrings. Like, okay, she's having a rough time. She doesn't feel good about herself. That sort of explains it. But what if this isn't an accident and she's actually engaging in a deliberate act of self-deception, and she wants to drag you down into that because she's not confident enough to face that reality alone? She is actively seeking codependence. Deep down, she knows that she's not cover of Vogue magazine material, but she doesn't have the courage to be responsible for her own delusion, so she ropes you in. She wants to live in a fantasy. That is her desire, and she pushes responsibility of that onto you. She wants you to create the fantasy. Yes, you're beautiful. Yes, you're a fashion magazine cover model, so that she can live in that. But at this stage, you're not reassuring an insecure girl. You are a co-conspirator in a delusion. You're protecting her from her own self-awareness. I think most of you guys can relate to this. If you've ever been in a discussion with a woman and you felt pressured to say something that you know was not true, this is what's happening. It's not about validation. addition, she is outsourcing responsibility onto you for her own self-deception. Textbook codependence, but believe it or not, that motivation is actually quite clean and wholesome compared to how dark it can get. Because consider the possibility that she knows that she's not beautiful enough to be on the cover of a magazine. She's not delusional, she's not insecure, but she still wants you to say that she is that beautiful. In that moment, she is completely aware of what she's doing. She's not looking for validation, she's looking for a display of submission. I know that this is dark, but please try and understand, for a woman like this, what brings her pleasure isn't hearing you say, yes, you're extremely beautiful. What makes her happy is watching you perform the lie. She knows that you don't believe it, but it brings her pleasure to see you say it anyway. It gives her an emotional high to know that she has the power to make you betray your own perception.
Damn. She enjoys that I have to lie to myself to lie to you. Interesting.
Do you think I could be on the cover of Vogue?
You mean the magazine Vogue?
Yeah.
Yeah? I think you should be on every magazine, Andrea.
Really?
Yeah? You're so pretty.
You might want to go back and rewatch that, because you can actually see his initial reaction when she asks him this ridiculous question. His mind is like, no. But then
And you can hear her laughing in the background.
the programming kicks in and he knows what's expected of him. And he's like, yeah, absolutely. Like, you should be on every magazine. You're so pretty. And I'm sure that that makes her happy. But you got to understand, for some women, the point isn't the compliment, it's the performance. If you've ever studied narcissism, this is going to sound very familiar to you, because when you praise a narcissist, they don't really care if the praise is true or if you believe it. What makes a narcissist happy is watching you debase yourself, violate the truth and your integrity in order to give them praise, because that makes them feel powerful. It's not about admiration, it's about dominance. Regular people feel safe when they see somebody acting out of integrity, but for a narcissist, watching somebody sacrifice their integrity for their sake, that gives them a huge high. And so sometimes you'll encounter tests like this, because what a woman really wants to know is, will you sacrifice your soul to keep me emotionally comfortable? The female villains in the novels of Ayn Rand captured this perfectly. They believe that they are loved when they watch the men in their lives destroy their own virtue for their sake. If you tell a beautiful woman that she is beautiful, what have you given her? It's no more than a fact and has cost you nothing. But if you tell an ugly woman that she is beautiful, you offer her the great homage of corrupting the concept of beauty. To love a woman for her virtues is meaningless. She's earned it. It's a payment, not a gift. But to love her for her vices is a real gift, unearned and undeserved. To love her for her vices is to defile all virtue for her sake. And that is a real tribute of love, because you sacrifice your conscience, your reason, your integrity, and your invaluable self-esteem.
That's just the one thing I really can't do, is like sacrifice my integrity to lie to her. You know, like, no, you're fat. That dress doesn't make you look fat. Your fat makes you look fat. And that dress just doesn't look nice on you.
That quote is from Lillian Riordan. She is the wife of one of the male heroes in her novel Atlas Shrugged. Lillian's a really nasty piece of work. Ayn Rand, she really understood the toxic mind of women so well. But demanding somebody sacrifice their virtue for you, that is not love, that is control. Holding on to your sense of truth, that doesn't impress her. But when you sacrifice your integrity, when you're willing to lie for her, that's what makes her feel comfortable. How dark is that? And I wish that was the end of it. You know, you grit your teeth, you put on your performance, you feel dirty and you want to go take a shower, but no, in some cases, she's not done with you.
Do you think that I could ever be on the cover of Vogue?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Except for the fact that you have to be like 5'9".
But height aside,
Mm-hmm.
if they just cared about like face card, do you think I could do it?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
You're just saying that.
No, I'm not.
There you go.
He says, yes, you are pretty enough. And she says, really? Really? And he keeps saying, yes, yes, yes. Like he keeps confirming, keeps validating her. And after all of that, she's like, nah, you're just saying that. And he has to say it again. No, I really believe that. You performed your emotional duty to her delusion, and she's still not satisfied. She wants more. She pushes harder. Why do women get stuck in this endless loop of needing more? One possible explanation is she's just really needy. Some women do need constant reassurance. Their self-esteem is that low that one single compliment, it doesn't really register. She needs it repeated. As a man, dealing with that is emotionally exhausting, especially if it's one of those women who has figured out that she can get more praise, more validation if she insults herself lots. So as pretty as you're telling her that she is, she's like, no, I'm really fat, I'm really ugly, and you don't like me. You know, you think I'm unattractive. And he's like, no, I really do think this. Like, I'm not lying. I'm telling you the truth. Please believe me. For most men, this just is annoying. It just feels childish.
It does.
But for some women, it is just straight up insecurity that makes them like that. But that doesn't justify her behavior, because what we're really seeing in situations like that is incredibly poor emotional communication. I know that we've been told that women are like really emotionally like in touch with themselves and they're fantastic communicators, they're intuitive. But the reality that most men have witnessed is that women are incredibly bad at this stuff. Like, they really struggle to express their vulnerability in an adult way, like directly. Instead of saying, I feel insecure and I don't know how to talk about it, she says to him, you're just saying that to make me feel better. You don't really believe it. It's so childish. You're feeling insecure, and instead of opening up, being vulnerable and trying to connect with your man, instead you pick a fight and you call him a liar when he's trying to do his best to give you compliments to make you feel better. That's your response. But remember, the possibility is that she's not doubting you just out of insecurity. It's just that she hasn't extracted from you the performance that would satisfy her yet.
Do you reckon I could be on the cover of Vogue?
Sure.
Really?
Yeah, why not?
You genuinely think I could be on the cover of Vogue?
Genuine. Yeah.
Why do you think I could be on the cover of Vogue?
Because you're beautiful.
Pardon?
Because you're beautiful.
Because I'm beautiful. Well, you said yes, but you don't seem convinced.
I'm very convinced. I reckon you could be on the cover of Vogue.
He affirmed her like 5 times. She keeps checking. He's like, yes, I really think that. I genuinely believe that. And then after all of that, her response is like, well, I don't know. You don't seem very convinced. Not gratitude, not thank you. Oh, that means a lot. Instead, like, no, I don't think your performance was good enough. It wasn't convincing enough. In situations like this, remember, it's not about the compliment. What she wants to see is you sacrificing a part of yourself to make her feel better. That's the reassurance she actually wants. Remember, for some women, they don't even care if the compliment is true. What makes them feel reassured is seeing you distort your own integrity for their sake, for their emotional comfort.
You know, this integrity you speak of, women sacrifice this constantly because they literally perform in front of each other, constantly telling each other, yes, queen, you're a 10, even though she's a fat cow.
When she says, you don't sound very convincing, what she's really saying is, go further, say it again, perform, show me that you're willing to betray your own perception of reality for me. The question that you need to ask yourself as a man is, can you tell the difference between a woman who is acting out of genuine insecurity or if she's being manipulative? Do you know how to differentiate between those two? And how will you respond to either? What are your boundaries going to be? That can be tough for a lot of guys to figure out, because what we're talking about here fits into a broader pattern which has been normalized in the West.
You know, I really do enjoy Alice's channel. It just makes me think of so many extra things that of the woman's mind that I would never normally think about, especially a lot of these shit tests that we see. And it's just like, oh, they're just complete narcissists. Majority of them. Insecure narcissists. Please like, subscribe, comment down below. I really appreciate that. And I'll catch you guys next time. Ciao.